in Bangkok, Thailand. It is midnight there. It's 2016, but here it's 2015, and joining me is Rob Schneider. Happy New Year's Eve.
Hi to all the fans out there in Bangkok watching the local news here in Phoenix. Fox.
We have people, because we are the internet, tuning in from random parts of the country. I have a lot of Donald Trump fans that tend to tune in because we carry a lot of his live press conferences.
Sure.
And right when we were off camera, you mentioned that your mom was Filipino.
Yes.
And I have to ask you your take on the whole Miss Universe controversy and that whole debacle.
First of all,
are you Team Miss Philippines? I assume
Oh, yeah,
so.
you have to be. Otherwise, they'll murder me in my sleep. No, I'm Manny Pacquiao team, Yeah, well, first of all, that was a dumb mistake. That guy, Steve Harvey, he didn't show up at the rehearsal. Like, I know he's like, I got this one. No, it's no biggie. I got this one. I'll wing it. It's like, you don't wing it. You got to show up at the rehearsal, and that's how he screwed up.
Okay.
But I mean, I think they should have split it. If I was Miss Philippines. First, if I was Miss Philippines, I have a lot of other things I have to say before I can get to the Miss Universe thing. But I would have said, let's just split it. Mm-hmm. I don't know if they'd allow that, but I would. Why not?
Well, he did show the card though that said her name at the very end, Miss Philippines. It was his bad. Here's the thing: he got the job again.
He did?
Yeah, they've rehired him for next year.
Well, I mean, if you're trying to get publicity, that's one way to get it. Mm-hmm. And I know he has a year to come up with something funny about it, so that helps a lot.
On Christmas, actually, he posted something on Twitter or Instagram that
saying
said,
Easter, Happy
Merry
Easter. Yeah,
Easter,
I saw that coming. As soon as that happened, I went, okay, I see the meme coming. Happy Easter. I saw that. I predicted it, and it came true.
A lot of memes on Twitter, a lot of things happening on the internet, people making different graphics.
Well, he's an idiot. I mean, now you know. That guy's an idiot, and, it's good to know that stuff.
Are you available to host Miss Universe
yes.
this year?
And I'll promise to make an even bigger screw-up for more publicity next time.
We're getting a lot of questions from
questions.
The chat room. I want to go back. I think it was Tess who asked this question. People were giving me questions up in like 30, 40 minutes ago. I remember a couple of them. Someone was asking, have you ever written a joke that was not PC and then decided not to do it because it was just
Yes, of course I have. Every comedian has. I had, terrible jokes that I won't mention now, but it's just, you always think of the something that could be outrageous, and sometimes it's too much, and you have to also be your own critic. Self-censorship is the worst form of censorship, but you have to also go, maybe that's too much. And then, if you're famous, I mean, they could use that against you,
What do you think?
Try to ruin you.
Well, what's your take on this whole, PC culture now? I feel like the internet is to blame,
well,
and
yeah,
social media, everyone gets upset over everything.
I make jokes about that now. I mean, I do, I talk about how it's hard to talk about stuff, and then you can talk about that. I just manipulate the audience into, talking about, how it's difficult to do, whether, 6 months ago was Caitlyn Jenner and the whole sex, the transgender thing. And talking about it, and then you see a guy like Louis C.K. come around, and just I saw him at the Comedy Store, and he had a way better joke than I had about it, and I was talking about how Caitlyn Jenner, blah blah blah, and then he said women, it's like, I'm a woman. At least I've got that. I get paid less, whatever. There's a lot of not respect. And it's and now guys coming along and saying, hey, I can do that too. I'll just cut this, And he's Louis C.K., that's why.
That's fair. Tree saying, is it just me or is he better looking without all the makeup for the camera?
Oh, God bless you. And without all the hair, too. It's all going. God bless you. Yeah, I don't... I don't wear makeup anymore because I'm at the age now. It wouldn't help that much. I'd end up looking like the weatherman. You know what I mean?
And even if you have makeup now, everything's shot in HD so people can see the makeup on your face.
Yes, I know.
It's
I don't know why do it.
Why fight it?
I'm trying to work out as much. But when you're working out when you're older, it looks weird if you're ripped, So, that guy shows up on your phone. He's like, he got a gray beard. Just to emphasize how old he is. He's ripped. He's like, to emphasize how old he is, he's got a gray beard. But your skin gets stretched too thin when you're older. It's like, look how ripped I am. Yeah, but I could see your heart. It's like, ew, But you got to stay. My wife's quite a bit younger than me, so I got to keep in decent shape. I got a 3-year-old, so that's keep me going. Yeah.
3 years old.
Yeah.
That's the fun age, though, right?
Well, I mean,
I'm old. They're cute. They don't talk back yet?
No, they talk back. Yeah, they talk back. They don't want to do what you do. They're sneaking into bed with you and, trying to keep you up all night. But I love it. I don't mind. I had my time to sleep. I didn't take advantage of it. Now there's no more sleep.
Do you get to sleep on the road at least?
A little bit, but then you have to come up and do Fox News and do your
right.
lovely teenage show. So good. And but you have to be your own tech person on this, right?
I do. I have to do everything. There's like a whole...
That's great.
People compare it to like a space station sometimes.
Yeah, but it's good. I like you got your own thing. You got the news over here. You got pictures of yourself here.
I do. I get to look at myself all the time.
You're very lovely. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. We can go ahead and look at Times Square if you want. See that?
Oh, that's coming up, yeah.
Seamless transition like that.
Very good. You're smooth.
That's
Never leave a pause. No air.
People are arguing with me. SK, my 2-year-olds talk back. Okay, guys, you can obviously tell I don't have children.
Yeah.
I don't know this
you
personally.
do. But it's nice about that, because they feel comfortable enough to feel like they can tell you stuff.
Right.
Like, I was a little short with my 3-year-old the other day because she's like, I'm brushing her teeth, and then she spit it on over her pajamas for the second time. And I went like, hey, don't do that. And then like, no more of that. And she said, Daddy's a monster. And I was like, what? And I went, yeah, you got to be patient. Just change it again. And like, And then the next morning when I made her breakfast and, juice and everything, she said, Daddy, you're not a monster.
Aww.
And I was like, that was a nice thing because she thought about maybe it hurt my feelings, And at a 3-year-old, how beautiful is that? So I don't know. I'm turning to a big mushy thing. What happens to guys when they get in their 40s? And you don't know about this.
I don't.
You're only 14.
Right.
But when guys are getting at mid-40s especially, the hemispheres of the brain start to melt, literally. And so they become more emotional or become more available to those emotions. Yeah. So, and it's nice to know that something in your brain is melting also. So you become more available to those emotions. And that's what's happening to me right now.
Does your daughter know what you do for a living? Is she aware?
She knows that Mommy and Daddy are doing their TV show, Real Rob. She knows that about that TV show. She doesn't know what it is, or we don't go out a lot anymore, so we don't. People coming up to us. I don't want it to I don't like it. This has not become a problem yet. Whereas when she's 7, she's going to realize something's going on.
Are you going to try to shield her from Hollywood?
I do. We don't live in Hollywood anymore.
Where do you live?
We moved up north on the border of Oregon.
Oh, wow.
Which is Calabasas. No, it's still in LA, but
yeah, Calabasas.
As far away as you can be.
Where the Kardashians live, right?
Yeah, that was the thing is that we have no paparazzi. It's going to be great, and then paparazzi everywhere because the Kardashians go shop at the same grocery store. So when they're not there, they're trying to find any moron like me. A guy like, well, they're not there, but there's Rob Schneider.
I just noticed a couple questions that passed by.
Yeah.
Rachel's saying, Rob, how difficult is it to play a range of characters from the assistant in the Beverly Hillbillies to the delivery guy in Big Daddy and your latest role in Ridiculous 6? Rachel's a big fan.
Oh, thank you, Rachel. Yeah, those just put the outfit on, and that'll do some of the work right there. And then I remember when I was doing a submarine movie, I just got done doing 2 movies with Sylvester Stallone, and I just remember I had to do my big scene first. So me trying to take over the submarine. So I went let me get the outfit on. And it was the first day of filming. So they had a problem with the submarine almost sinking because they put it sideways. And so they changed emergency cover set, which means if everything goes wrong, they got to do this scene. So I was that scene. So anyways, I said, just give me the outfit. So I got the outfit and the uniform, and then I got the mustache. My mustache was making me feel, uncomfortable. And then you kind of find the character that way. Sometimes just putting on the outfit will help do some of the work. And then just working on the voice. I always try to get, if it's a nationality, and the last one I did, the Ridiculous 6, which is available streaming now on Netflix, I took a character that I based it on a character that a guy that I've worked with, a real person, who was a director of cinematography, Carlos Hidalgo Valdez, who I'd worked with on my TV show Real Rob, also streaming on Netflix right now.
Basically, he's saying to subscribe to Netflix if you don't already.
Yes, please. And then anyway, so
he talked like this. His voice was like this. He's from Mexico City, and this was his voice. So then I started doing that.
And so I did that for 4 months, and my voice has still not recovered.
Let's see. Rob, is there a vision of a New Age Animal House type movie in the future? Kathy K saying, rest in peace, John Belushi.
They did that old school. They offered me old school, and I said I didn't want to do it because of I loved Animal House. I should have done it, but yeah, I guess there will always be room for that. I mean, but it'll never have the same impact, in my opinion, because I remember seeing Animal House. It changed comedy for 20 years. Every comedy was affected by how great that was, and that really the guy most responsible for how incredible that was, and its impact on comedy movies all over the world was John Landis, the great director John Landis. So I mean, I offered him a new movie to do with me, so maybe he'll do the new version of it. I love John Landis, but that was a great one, Animal House.
Dee just rockin' saying, Rob, to me, some of the best drama actors come from those that started out as comedians. Do you ever aspire to do serious drama?
I would, but I don't get it offered to me. I mean, so I'm gonna have to just write them and do them myself. But yeah, I do agree that comedians have that propensity for great sadness, and like there's a darkness there. I mean, putting yourself out there psychically with by doing comedy comes at a price, and usually those guys, if you swing so happy, you could also swing so, depressed, and that's why comedians do swing that way. That's why, guys who have that propensity also have the propensity to be pretty dark. But we make good actors if they give us a shot. But in Hollywood, it's such a business that they don't, if you made money doing this, then make money doing that, because the guys making the decisions, at least at the studio level, are all filled with fear. And it's like they know they're going to get fired. It's not only a question of when. So they make their decisions on what will delay my inevitable firing the longest. You don't have to worry about that. You're okay for a while.
Because I'm 14.
Because you're 14. You're inexpensive.
Rachel saying, Rob, how is sitcom life different from movie life, Saturday Night Live life, and stand-up?
Well, sitcoms are great if you can make it work for you. I mean, my wife and I produced our own show that's on Netflix now, Real Rob, plug. But we did it ourselves, so it was like a single camera is like making a movie. So it's like you have to shoot, you have a certain schedule to do. A 4-camera sitcom's a little easier. You come in, you got to write the shows, get guys ahead of time, hopefully a good group of writers, and then you rehearse, you table read, do some basic rehearsal. They work on whatever different sets they need. They got their 2 basic sets that they use, and then you shoot it. You rehearse, and then you camera block Friday, shoot Friday night or whatever, and then or the next day, Saturday, whenever you shoot. Making movies is like a 3-month camp. You have to just settle down and then make the movie that way. And then stand-up is like, I'm working on jokes at 3 o'clock in the morning this morning that I want to do tonight about like downtown Phoenix.
Can we hear any?
Well, just downtown Phoenix used to be a little tougher than it is right now. I was when I was in last night, I was asked, was this neighborhood safe? Because I remember what downtown Phoenix used to be like. And he said, well, your block's pretty good. Well, I feel good there. Just don't make a left when you go to the hotel.
That defines downtown Phoenix.
Yeah, but I think it is better now, and it keeps it interesting that there's some potential death out there.
Let's see. Every comedian gets asked this question. Alan Lewis, if you're comfortable, your opinion on Donald Trump.
Well, I mean, I'm not comfortable about it, but like, the weird thing is he says a lot of crazy stuff, and then every once in a while he'll say something that kind of makes sense, which is like, we need to put tariffs. That would change the whole world, and it would definitely create more manufacturing jobs back in America. If we started taxing this crap that comes in, like everything made in China, and I'm not against things made in China, but I mean, if you can manufacture it here, let's protect jobs here in America. And I'm all for getting rid of these trade, which is also, he's wrong about the trade NAFTA. NAFTA is not good for Mexico. It's good for international corporations, but it is not good for, if you take a look at the truth of that, I think he's misinformed or malformed. What he is the poverty level had gone up from 30% in Mexico to up to 50% now. And conversely, in the United States, the poverty level has gone up from basically 1/4 to a third in America since the North American Free Trade Agreement. So what it does is it basically goes around worker safety, and they can close any time that they want, and also environmental protections in both countries. And that's so when they say free trade, they don't mean free trade. They mean free right to abuse. And so if you take a look at what's happening with this TTP, that's this new trade agreement for Asian companies, it's not going to help people. It's going to go around worker standards. It's going to continue to spread toxic products like GMOs, which are toxic, and it's not going to be helping for the average worker. So he's the only guy of all the candidates that's talking about putting in tariffs. So while I think some of his things are absolutely dreadful that he's saying, as far as, my wife's Mexican. So, people who from Mexico come here, they come here to work, and they're sending money back home. And these are people that, if you want to destroy America's economy, try to get rid of Mexican people. You will have nothing will get done. Nothing.
And you won't have any fruit, really, probably.
Yeah,
when you go grocery shopping.
These are hard-working people. You don't see Mexicans on the side of the road begging. You don't see, you see drunk white people doing it, or hungover white people. But these people are working. They're selling fruit. They're doing something. They're hanging out trying to get, construction work or something. They're working. And I really do think, while there's crime across the board in every nationality, I think, you have, I think to unfairly pick on them is just, you're picking on people who can't defend themselves. And I think that's not defensible. I think it's, you have to build people up and work together and unify them. So at the same time, I like some of the stuff, I don't like some of the stuff. And I do think, though, it's nice anybody but Hillary Clinton. That's who I'm going for. I just think, maybe she would have been a better president maybe 8 years ago. But she's been bought off by Saudi Arabia gives her money. It's just that Clinton library is just a funnel of money coming in from everybody. And you can if you give Hillary Clinton $100,000 for the Clinton library, she'll come and vacuum your house. She'll come and she'll and then Bill will come with you and go, yeah, where are the daughters? Are they upstairs? I'm like, can I just see the rooms?
I'm 14.
I'm 14.
Felicia saying, hi, Rob. I recently got Netflix so I can watch your new show. Now I feel like I'm talking to you.
Good. You are talking to me.
You are.
Yeah, well, thank you. It's a really fun My wife plays my wife in the show. I'm very proud of her. She does a great job. And, my show that I had on a network, CBS, they didn't want somebody with an accent. And I went what are you talking about? This is perfect. And people are used to accents. Are you nuts? So anyway, I said, I'll put my wife in the show. And now we're on Netflix, Netflix is twice as big a company as CBS now. So that's my revenge. And I put my own wife on it, and it's a great show, and it's a hit on Netflix. I'm very excited about it.
That's super exciting. So just a second ago, we were obviously talking about politics.
Yeah.
I feel like comedy and politics interact a lot these days.
Yeah,
comedians are choosing to target politics.
Well, yeah, the political animal, you have to to try to keep each side happy, or all the different sides happy. You make yourself vulnerable to look like an idiot, and so you do. Hillary Clinton, at the same time that she flew over to Bosnia, I flew over to Bosnia a month before that, and I heard stories about hey, there's snipers shooting at some planes, and so in the back of your mind, whoa, if they shot at us, that would be a better story. But I didn't lie about it and say, hey, sniper shot at a plane. She did.
Kind of like Brian Williams.
Yeah, she's trying to make a better story out of it, to make herself look more brave, or more, look what I did. But you have to, I'm a comedian and I resisted the lying. She didn't. She said, I'm going to go with that lie. And they shot at us. Which says two things. It says she's a liar to make herself look good. That's one thing. The other thing is to say she's dumb to not realize people are going to check on that. Make sure. You're a political figure. I'm a comedian.
Doesn't every political figure lie, though? I feel like you're not a politician until you've told at least 10, 15, 20 lies on camera.
Well, what happens, too, is, that you're right. You after a while, you believe your own thing because it's become this lie.
Yeah.
And then you tell it again. You go, it's got to be true because I told it on Fox News.
Yeah.
And then I told it on CNN. And so nobody will do the Brian Williams thing. Brian Williams, who never really apologized, by the way. He basically, I misremembered, or I misspoke. No, I lied to make myself look better, to tell a better story, because I was on Letterman, or whatever. And I do think he's one of the few people, I wish they would hold some politicians as accountable. He's an anchor man. They shouldn't, he's not a guy you string up on whatever. He should be allowed to work. He just lied, and but he wanted to be in entertainment anyway. So if he just realizes, just go into entertainment, become a talk show. That's what he wanted to be. I think secretly he wanted to be in entertainment talk shows because it's not as boring. Reading up the news, you can make stuff up. Clearly, he likes making stuff up. So I think, and for comedians, I think what we try to do is make stuff up or add to it. Like, I mean, there's I talk about flying, and I make up stories because they make them better.
Right.
So, but you can't do that if you're trying to run the, the biggest, country in the free world, the so-called free world. And so it says something about her character.
Right.
And I don't think that that's a good thing. I think you need to really look at that. And so I'm not voting for her. Anybody but Hillary.
Well, our current president, interacts with comedians a lot. He did Mark Maron's podcast. And
first of all, that guy is just a whore. He got President Obama, Mr. President, stop going on every TV show. David Spade was talking about this.
He was.
David Spade was like, hey, Obama's on Ellen more than I am. It's like,
said,
enough already.
He said Obama was thirsty.
Oh, yeah, he did. He's just like, it's enough. I mean, like, he's already auditioning to be on Celebrity Apprentice when Arnold takes over in February. And it's like, you know what, we're gonna consider you Mr. President, but there are other people like Tom Arnold who we probably want on the show more than you. But it's an oversaturation, and I'm just disappointed. I was very hopeful for President Obama, but I don't think he's improved people's lives. I do think some of the stuff he's done is just tried to do it, but I think I'm more progressive and conservative at the same time. Like, I think, forget these medical companies and insurance companies. Just take that out of the equation,
right?
And let's get people healthy first of all, and then let's the prescription drug thing, which should be in the UK, $10. That's it, all of it. And
that would be nice.
And if you don't want to pay for, if you don't want to, the pharmaceutical companies don't want to make enough money, we'll get somebody else. It's okay. You don't have to do it. But I think you have to talk about getting the population healthy, because the idea of just going and getting a new drug and whatever, it's not. You have too many people on prescription drugs. You got to get them off. My dad was on 12 when he passed away.
Wow.
The idea is to get them off, all of them, if you can, safely, and do more natural stuff. And I mean that. And you can do it. I mean, like, a better pain reliever, a better anti-inflammatory is curcumin as opposed to some pain drugs. And now, I mean, pain drugs are great, but they should be temporary. What happens is pharmaceutical industries are like, when you put opiates, it's heroin. And it's like, so you're turning these people into heroin addicts. And then when they get off the opiates, they're addicted. And then they start looking for heroin. It's a real story in the news right now.
It's a major problem here in Arizona, too.
Yeah, so, I mean, don't give people opiates. You can, and I'm not a big marijuana smoker, but, like, marijuana is a pain reliever that is not as addictive as opiates. You don't want to turn people who have knee surgery or knee replacement surgery into a heroin addict. And that's the thing about heroin now, is that it's crossing over the border into different segments of our society. So, I don't mean to bore all you people, but, like, these are real things that are happening. And as comedians, we have to take them and see what we can make this misery and how we can make it into humor. And, and I know people don't want to hear about my political points of view or societal points of view, but in a situation like this, I feel like more free I can talk about.
You're allowed to. I think you're telling us to all move to the United Kingdom.
Well, no. United Kingdom's not perfect either. They've got some real issues. But I think what you can learn is that you can take a system that works over there. I mean, Thomas Jefferson, when he was inventing America, went over to France, went over to Europe with a little red book. If I could have any book in history, I would want to have this book. And he would make little notations. Thomas Jefferson, our third president, and one of the inventors of our country, and he wrote down stuff he did not want in his new country, America. And so that's why we have a grid system, because Thomas Jefferson says, we do not want to be like London, which is like, you got to make U-turns to drive. Yeah.
Awful.
He said, let's get a grid system. So that's why Philadelphia, New York, and almost every major city is more or less on a grid system, because Thomas Jefferson.
Only city that sucks, really? Boston. Driving there.
Well, Boston was also formed before the United States was the United States.
That makes
sense. It's still a
then.
British colony. So you have some of that, but a lot of Boston has the extended part of Boston is a grid system.
Right. I guess I'm talking about Boston proper. I've never gotten more lost in my life.
Well, it was again based on London. It was based on cities, and it also was based on horse carriages.
That makes sense.
And so it's a different system. So anyway, so he wrote that. He also wrote let's not have these statues in every block. So while we did not heed his advice on like all these monuments, we don't have as many as England. You have it everywhere. They said, let's not have this and let's not have these. So you can talk about what you can learn from other cultures, and I think we shouldn't be afraid about learning what's good and bad from other cultures. And I think as far as we have 50% of our kids have chronic illness in America, and we have to get them healthy. And it's not just it's the food. It's the food it's the water, and getting them moving. And but yeah, there's a lot of toxic food that we need to get them off of that affects their gut bacteria, and they're taking prescription drugs that aren't healthy. So these are things that affect and could improve people's lives to make them healthier and to make them decrease misery, make people feel better.
I want to check in with the chat room again. I don't want them to think I'm ignoring them. Alan Lewis saying Trump, Schneider. I think they want you to be Donald Trump's vice president. Rainin saying Rob Schneider for president. Could you imagine?
I mean, I don't think my wife would want me to run for it, but I got some good ideas, but then, I don't know. I think it's too big a sacrifice for me. But thank you.
Rob, who is your favorite comedian to work with, and what is the role you love playing in, and what is your favorite movie? D, just getting us back onto the topic of comedy.
Thank you, D. Shut up with politics and Donald Trump. I like the most risky thing is to play yourself or a close version of yourself. So this show on Real Rob, I felt like that was really, if you want to know me more, that's kind of a real a-hole version of myself. I like that. I like the new movie Ridiculous Six. I played this Spanish guy. The best compliment I got was from John Lovitz, who's an amazing vocal
He visited
genius.
us here a
John
couple months
Lovitz.
ago.
Hello, I'm John Lovitz, and I like to talk like this. No, I didn't. Did he bring his dog?
He brought his dog right here.
Oh, God
it was
bless
so
him.
cute.
Well, he's brilliant, and he's one of the best sketch players ever. And he said, what I really liked about your character is that I didn't even sound like you at all. So it was nice that I was able to find, because he tried to find a new voice for something. So I enjoyed that. 50 First Dates was fun, because we got to shoot it in Hawaii, and with, Drew Barrymore, and just a beautiful girl, and great, real movie star, her and Adam Sandler in those scenes. That made me feel like, wow, I'm in a real movie with movie stars, So that was fun. I liked The Chosen One. It was a movie I made with Steve Buscemi and Peter Riegert from Animal House, actually. And that's on Netflix as well. It's a drama that I did, and I like that movie. A lot of people don't like it because they think it's going to be a crazy comedy. And it's really, about a family surviving a suicide, which is hilarious, by the way. So, but I like my favorite movie, Fish Called Wanda. I took my daughter. Well, I showed my daughter Return of the Pink Panther. I loved. It's great to hear. Just to hear her laughing hard at the physical comedy of Peter Sellers. Being There, beautiful movie. Brazil, great movie. Being There, maybe a perfect comedy. Also, Heaven Can Wait is a perfect comedy. That's Warren Beatty. Genius Warren Beatty.
Who haven't you worked with that you really want to work with?
I wanted to do Twins with The Rock because we kind of look like each other. And I met with him 10 years ago, and he's been really busy. I've been busy. I'd like to work with him just because physically I think we could do a funny movie together. John Cleese, he's 75 now, but I love Monty Python. Those are my heroes. I get to work with my buddy Adam Sandler. That doesn't suck. He's the best. And then, I'd love to work with Ian McKellen and guys like that, I'd love to work with, Anthony Hopkins. I was jealous that Chris Rock got to make a movie with him. Because that's pretty exciting. These are great actors. And it's like, if you're playing tennis, you want to play somebody better than you.
Right.
So those
Unless you need an ego boost.
Yes, you want to just get a 7-year-old child and just beat the crap out of him in tennis. But yeah, and also Mr. Bean would be fun to work with. He's a funny guy. I love Sacha Baron Cohen. As a matter of fact, there's a great Spanish comedian you guys never heard of named Santiago Segura. He's the best, most famous comedian from Spain, and I just he's a friend of mine, and I was like, hey, what happened to that movie? Maybe I'll do an American version. Sacha Baron Cohen's got it already. And I'm like, what? So Sacha Baron Cohen's got it's a really filthy movie because my friend, Santiago made a very filthy movie called Torrente, which is really interesting if you get a chance to see it. And Sacha Baron Cohen's doing that, just absolutely disgusting detective. And that's his next movie coming out.
I'm sure he appreciates your plug.
Well, it's absolutely brutal and dirty and filthy, but it'll be funny. No one else is doing that kind of stuff. I mean, Sacha Baron Cohen, that Borat made me laugh harder than anything I've ever seen. The only comedy I've ever seen 2 times in a row. I was screaming and laughing. And a lot of the guy who wrote some of the best stuff in there was Dan Graney, Dan Graney, the great writer from The Simpsons. He's the guy who wrote, "I'm a big supporter of your war of terror." Not on terror, war of terror. And like the people clapping, not really hearing what he said. And that was written by Dan Graney, brilliant writer. I'm always trying to get him to work with me. On whatever I do, I try to get him, Matt Selman, to help me out.
Kathy K., it looks like you already commented on this, but I'll read it anyways. What is it like working with Adam Sandler and Drew Barrymore? Did he talk to her at all about the movie E.T.?
No. I mean, I don't know if her childhood memories are the best. She it's not, show business isn't healthy for adults. So you imagine what it's like for children. But she tells stories, and she was very nice. And I did that. The funniest scene in the whole movie is where she's beating me with the baseball bat. And there was a real bat in there surrounded by rubber. And then people didn't think she was going to real wail on me. But, there was welts on my back, and this prop guy said, "Do you want me to tell her to take it easy?" And, she's having fun. Let her go for it. So it was when I was really reacting to it. So it made it easier. But that's a really funny scene. We shot that in Hawaii, and I said, "This looks familiar, this area. Where are we shooting?" And they said, "Oh, what was it this is where they did the running of the dinosaurs. The very famous scene in the original Jurassic Park, not the remake." And they were running the dinosaurs. Yeah, and this run, it was just like 22 years ago, that movie.
I saw it when I was -8.
Right, exactly. She's good with math, too. And I kept looking like, "Oh, that's so cool." So the whole day, this is like 11 years ago, so I couldn't wait to run in the same place the dinosaurs were running. So I want to run, too. And during that scene, I just started running, and I saw the camera guys lifting their camera equipment, and then she started chasing me, and they ended up keeping it in the movie, which was pretty crazy. And it was actually extended something really funny and give an audience a place to really, really laugh. Was at that part,
Well, that actually is a perfect transition to this next question. Rob, when you work with Adam Sandler, are most of your lines scripted or ad-libbed? Are there more collaborations, improvisations?
Well, the truth of the matter is you can only really ad-lib if you have a really well-written script with really well-defined characters, because then it allows for improvisation. So we kind of come up with something, but you have to have it really well-defined. And Adam Sandler worked for 9 years on this last one, The Ridiculous Six, and there's some brilliant scenes in there. There's a scene that doesn't need to be in that movie because it doesn't advance the plot at all. It's the scene with John Turturro, who's the guy, playing the guy who invented baseball. What's his name? I can't even think of his name, though. But, and he's brilliant at it. And it's a perfect scene. And there's another scene where, Harvey Keitel comes to his demise, and it's really physically funny, and it's shot really well. Special effects are great, and it's really shocking, and it's really funny in an interesting way. And so those things are worked out ahead of time. And then if you're lucky and you do it right, you allow yourself the possibility to add something on top of that. And conversely, if something's not working as well as you thought it was, you can maneuver your way and try to get things. And that's the good thing about Adam Sandler and I. We've worked together so many years that when something is a little flatter than we'd anticipated, we can play with it. And then he'll go with me, I'll go with him. And he trusts me enough to do that. And I trust him enough. So I hope that doesn't answer your question.
Let's see. Question for Rob. What do you do to fight boredom when you're not working on films or working in general? Happily asking.
I like pretty much working. I don't know what I do when I'm not working. I like writing. I like, figuring out what I'm going to do next. There's a couple of movies that might be next. It's not fighting boredom. You have to find, whatever it is, find something you love and then keep doing it. And then you have to be, writing, I only get a couple of hours of inspiration for writing early in the morning. It used to be late at night. Now it's early in the morning. And then you have to, that's the creative side and the dancing side of your brain. And then the structural side is to work on that stuff that you have written to try to make it better or make it make sense so you can use it in that way. And so we'll see. I might be doing a drama about a horse and a girl I play a dad in it, and that we might do next. And there's also a mafia comedy that I might do with Alec Baldwin next. So we'll see. And then Adam Sandler's got another movie. So it's and then I'm doing stand-up, stand-up live tonight for New Year's. So I got jokes about that. I was writing till 3 o'clock in the morning. So I keep myself pretty busy. And I have a 3-year-old.
There's that, too.
So she needs attention.
What inspired you to go back and hit the road, get back into
Chris
stand-up?
Rock and George Carlin. I did a movie with Chris Rock, and Chris Rock was saying, you got to get back and do it. You could be the best at it. And I was like, wow, okay. And I just said, what am I going to talk about? Just talk about what you talk about me about. And so we did. And I mean, I really did get back into it, and it's because of Chris Rock. Adam Sandler been trying to talk me into doing it, too. And now he's back doing it. Norm Macdonald and I and him and David Spade are going to work Vegas, Seattle, and Portland and see if that goes good.
And you guys can drive to Vegas just a couple
You're
hours
pretty
away.
close?
We're
Yeah.
fairly close. I can't.
13th and 14th.
I can't go for
Saturday
another
and Sunday.
7 years.
Yeah, you take your time.
I need
Have you
to
go with your
fake
parents.
ID. Okay.
Go with your parents.
Bean wants to know, why are you so much handsomer now? Did you get plastic surgery?
I'm Filipino, so it helps a little bit. And the glasses also are kind of sexy. But no, I don't know.
And it also depends on the character, too, because when they're putting all this stuff on you, if they're trying to make your character look a certain way...
Guys look better older. I don't know.
that?
My wife thinks I'm getting more handsome, and I said, I'm just getting more tired. But thank you. I appreciate it. But no, I don't want to... I want to age like I'm aging. I'm not going to do anything to myself. Except, get more massages and take more saunas and steams. That's what I'm doing.
Taking care of yourself.
Well, I'm enjoying my life. I'm hanging out with the 3-year-old. I got to stay healthy for her. I take a lot of vitamins. A ton of vitamins. Yeah.
Rena and Rob, it would be super cool if you wished me happy birthday. Yeah, it's tomorrow.
Happy birthday tomorrow? Happy birthday tomorrow. What's your name?
Rhiannon?
Rhiannon? Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Rhiannon Boren. Happy birthday to you, and I wish you the best, and finish school.
Someone asked, are you working on any comedies for children? Now that you have a 3-year-old, that actually is a great question.
I have a movie called Norm of the North. It's coming out January 15th. And I played Norm. It's from Lionsgate. And I played Polar Bear Norm with Heather Graham and Dr. What's his name now? He's the guy from The Hangover. Well, I can't think of his name. I'm so tired right now.
Ken Jeong?
Ken Jeong, yeah. Ken Jeong and I and Heather Graham play that. So it's a Norm of the North, and it's for my 3-year-old. It's coming out.
Oh yeah, we answered that question already. Do you plan on putting your 3-year-old in the industry? Happily wants to know.
Oh God, no. But she is in my TV show, Real Rob. She had the best hours of the Netflix show, Real Rob. You can watch it now. She would come in at 11 and leave at 1. We'd shoot her for 45 minutes. I said, guys, you got 45 minutes. Let's make this work.
Are those child labor laws? Or?
No, I want to make it fun for her.
Yeah.
She was with the nanny in the morning, got to sleep in, have breakfast, come in, see mom and dad working, and then go home and play more. And then we'd come back a few hours later. So she has
a pretty fun life.
She was happy. But the thing is, I remember doing a movie with some children, and it was not as happy. And I remember the director saying, hey, this is to like a 6-year-old or 5-year-old. Listen, if you don't get this right, we're not going to be able to go to have lunch. So we need you to get these lines right. And I'm like, wow, that's a lot of pressure for a 5-year-old, thinking he's keeping grown men from eating their lunch. And so if show business isn't healthy for adults, and it's not, can you just imagine how unhealthy it is for children? The only completely healthy child star ever was Shirley Temple Black. The only one. Nothing. Drew Barrymore, she had some issues and some real problems, and she's doing okay now, God bless her. But like Shirley Temple Black's the only one who was normal. And she became the ambassador to the United Nations. She's an incredible woman. God rest her soul.
Rob, thank you so much for coming on FNN and sharing with us and answering all our questions. 2015 is ending on a high note with you.
Thank you. I hope I was more interesting than John Lovitz. I read. I don't think he reads.
You can make those jokes because your guys are friends, right? Maybe he doesn't read.
He doesn't read.
What actor?
He takes too much sugar. He has no attention span.
I really like this question. Larry5200 saying, which actor today could play Rob Schneider in a movie?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Well, it has to be Ryan Gosling, because he's ripped like I'm ripped. So he has to be Ryan Gosling. That's my wife's secret crush. Ryan, she loves Ryan Gosling. But he did get, he had a baby with his beautiful wife. And
Eva Mendes.
And so, I mean, he did get a little fat, which I was like, woof.
Isn't that the thing, though? Once you become a dad or once you go through pregnancy with a significant other, you end up putting on the weight, too?
Why wouldn't you want to?
I mean, I just heard that's what happens.
I gained 10 pounds when I had the baby, and when I had the baby. When my wife pushed the bowling ball out of her vagina, basically. She lost it. My wife's ripped, She's just such in great shape. And I have not gotten back, because I've been traveling a lot, but it's going to be, I'm ready to jump back into it, and it's just, it was really annoying to me when this Jessica Simpson was, when she was ripped and like in amazing shape. You can't stay in that shape or you'll die. You have to eat at a certain point. And so it's like climbing Mount Everest. You can't live up there. You have to like have a base camp where you're still in pretty good shape and then make a run for it. Dehydrate yourself and starve, whatever. And like for her to say, I just can't gain weight, and you find out she can. So I thought that was not a good representation for girls out there trying to figure it out. And it's tough, and it's just, what you can do is you can get to a good place where you feel good about yourself and try to kind of maintain as best you can. And then if you want to work out to get it in incredible shape, I did that with, I did a movie, Big Stan, 7 months, 5-hour workouts. Yeah. Who has 5 hours to work out? If you're a movie star, you can. And so...
Did you get to eat anything that tasted good?
No, you can. If you're working out 5 hours, you can eat anything. You have to eat a lot. As a matter of fact, you have to eat more than what you wouldn't eat.
But we still chose to eat healthy, I assume. You're not having chocolate cake.
But you're having like 7 chicken breasts a day. It's a lot of protein.
That's a lot of
And then you're
chicken.
having salads and stuff that your body can use instantly. Mm-hmm. And you're not eating fast carbohydrates.
I couldn't offer you this dark chocolate from See's Candy.
No, you couldn't. It's got, it has... this corn syrup in it, which is toxic and really not good for kids and adds to obesity. So, I mean, I'll eat regular chocolate. Black chocolate's actually good for you. If you have dark chocolate, 70%, you can eat that. It's okay. But just try not to have too much sugar. Sugar causes more havoc than anything.
I heard that it actually worsens depression.
It does, and it also, and it also can, cancer grows in an acidic environment, and it feeds off sugar. So don't eat it. You can have a little bit now and then, but like a friend of mine, BeyondHealth.com. It's our vitamin company. Full alert. I mean, I own it with Raymond Francis, and he has sugar twice a year.
What are those days? Like their birthday?
He has a piece of cake, and he'll have some ice cream. But he does it twice. I mean, that's how bad sugar is for you. He's an MIT, chemist, biochemist, and he's a genius. And he says that's how much havoc sugar can cause. Fruit's okay. Try not to have too much fruit in the afternoon. To have it in the morning, it's okay for you. But you do want to limit your sugar intake. The big ones to avoid: sugar, dairy, believe it or not, and then processed grains, breads. Cut out breads, just cut them out. Gluten-free, whatever, I cut them out. It turns into sugar too quick. Dairy, and then processed oils. I was at Whole Foods last night. It was very nice here, the Whole Foods. But avoid the processed oils. Safflower oil is, toxic because it's the most pesticides of any food product that's out there, believe it or not. And so you try to avoid that and cook with stuff that doesn't have it. There is non-GMO, or organic safflower oil. I wouldn't use it. So you just have to kind of look out for your kids and try to keep those toxins down, because it's just like we're living in toxic soup. Half the chemicals that were invented after World War II. So we're living in a toxic soup. I mean, literally, from the water bottles that you're drinking. As a 14-year-old, you should stop that. That's gonna. I mean, you really have to be careful of these things called endocrine disruptors that could negatively affect children's lives and your life. So you just want to be as healthy as you can. I recommend going on BeyondHealth.com and learning. It's a great website. Full disclosure, I'm an owner of the company, but there's really good stuff out there. And you just want to be healthy, not be on. You could take things to get safely off of prescription drugs. You don't need to be taking things like, cholesterol drugs. You can safely get off, blood pressure medication. You have to do it safely and slowly. But you can. It takes stuff that will do it more naturally for you, that is less toxic to your liver. Just to give you an idea, like the stuff, cholesterol drugs poisons your liver into not functioning properly, creating less cholesterol. That's just a bad idea. Intellectually, you can realize that's not a good idea. So there's so much money in it, they won't do something that's less money-making. That's how screwed up our medical system is.
So sad, so sad. Want to read a couple more questions before we wrap up. Kathy K, any chance of having Samia make a guest appearance in a future movie?
Always. You're welcome, but we do have child labor laws.
Okay, you know what? Even I played a cheerleader on Glee.
You did?
I did.
So you can sing?
No, I just had to, I had to cheer.
Okay, all right. I played a cheerleader in my late 30s, and it was very scary. And I'm not going to show that to my daughter yet, but The Hot Chick, that's a good movie. Yeah, I'll put you in it, sure.
Thank you. We're going to arrange that.
I had a Samira on my show, playing my wife.
I don't like this.
She played my wife.
That's too close to my name.
In the TV version of Real Rob and the Real Rob show, there's a TV sitcom in the 8th episode, and she's Samira, and she plays my wife, because it was like making fun of the network show, Rob. You can see that, episode 8 of Real Rob.
On Netflix.
On Netflix. Streaming now!
Happily, a question for Rob. You were kind of older to have a child so young, not meaning to be insulting, but I have 3 kids all grown up now. I could not imagine going back. Do you have trouble with energy? No, I don't think you have trouble with energy. You're so healthy.
Well, I do, but you have to work at it. I mean, you really have to, find things that don't slow you down. I mean, try not to eat the processed foods will slow you down. If you can, try not to eat after 10. And just have, you have to have healthy fats, decent proteins and greens. I juice in the morning. And then, it's when you're older, you have actually more. You appreciate things a little better. Because I have a 26-year-old, and who's a pop star now, Elle King. She's doing great, and I just, I missed a lot of her childhood. So, there are things like somebody says their D said, "What do you think of raw coconut oil?" Coconut oil is great. It's a really good anti-inflammatory. It can actually help heal your teeth, believe it or not. Because the whole idea of cavity can actually, help with, if you have a slight problem with, instead of getting, if you do need to get a root canal, it's potential problems with that, It's the only procedure where you do that where they leave something. Can you imagine your gallbladder, they leave a dead thing in you? It's the same thing with your teeth. That's a bad idea. So you can actually rinse with coconut oil, and it supposedly helps heal teeth. Supposedly. I don't know that for a fact. But I think that, you should try to do, curcumin is a really good anti-inflammatory that everyone should be taking when they're older, and that helps, can help prevent or to help lessen the negative effects of dementia, arthritis, and it could help actually turn those things around. I believe that. I'm not a doctor, so I can't give that as advice as a doctor, but I do think you can do things to help your energy. CoQ10 is a good one, and they're working out with weights is a natural testosterone builder, as opposed to taking fake testosterone or extra testosterone, which makes everything grow.
Let's see,
and some things shrink. Huh? How about this? All but of a sudden, people are afraid of gluten. Well, the problem with gluten is that what they're doing is they're putting. This is very, not to bore you even more than I've been boring you guys, but what happens is the wheat. There's when they're collecting the wheat, it's sticky at that source when they're harvesting wheat, and so what they do is they spray this stuff, glyphosate, on the tools, so that glyphosate actually kills your gut bacteria. It's in same stuff in Roundup. Monsanto is a criminal organization that needs to be stopped. But what that does is it destroys the gut bacteria, and then you can't digest wheat. So that's in the wheat. So that's why it's important. If you're going to eat grains, I don't recommend eating any grains, except maybe quinoa and something that are
brown rice.
Brown rice has its own problems too. But I suggest not have brown rice is better.
Yeah.
But those things, again, with the glyphosate in it, it destroys the good gut bacteria, and then that's why it makes them susceptible to having problems. And that's the real gluten. You didn't have gluten intolerance until 1997 when they started spraying this on wheat, which is glyphosate. And that's the real problem, and people don't really know that. And so, I mean, as much as you can, avoid eating these grains. And, as best you can. If you do it once in a while, it's okay. But for kids, it can really be disruptive in their lives.
Rob, well, thank you so much for giving us your take on health and comedy and Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Let's make one more plug for your show tonight. I see some breaking news out of Dubai. There's a building on fire, actually.
There's a what?
Burj Al Khalifa, the big building in Dubai that's like super famous. It's on fire.
It's not a Tom Cruise movie.
This is not a movie, guys. These are real images coming in right now. So that's really crazy.
That is
really unfortunate. I feel
Dubai?
In Dubai. It's the building that everyone who goes to Dubai has visited. Have you performed in Dubai?
I just canceled my gig in Dubai 30 seconds ago.
Wow.
No, yeah. That's a shame. Wow.
It is really unfortunate news. But guys, I know you guys have more questions for Rob, so I guess you can find him on social media or you can find him in person at Stand Up Live.
I'll be at Stand Up Live tonight. I just want to say thank you for having me. I hope your parents let you continue to do this.
Thank you.
Because I think you're good at it.
Thanks.
And I want to thank people for their questions. And I want to just say, stay healthy. We got a good Whole Foods here. Tell the Whole Foods people to not use safflower oil in their cooking. That's the only problem with Whole Foods. They use that.
All right.
But anyway, so we got to move on. I guess I'm getting.
Well, we do got to go to this fire. But thank you
so
much.
Go to the fire.
Go to the fire.
All right.
This is really unfortunate, guys. Out in Dubai. Thanks for hanging.
Yeah, it's a terrible fire.